of one's test scores, students from Taiwan will be able to gain admission to any university on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. If one cannot get into National Taiwan University, one can get into Beijing University. If one cannot get into Tsinghua University in Hsinchu, one can get into Tsinghua University at Beijing. If one cannot get into the department of one's choice at National Zhenji University, one will be able to at Fudan University in Shanghai. For students from Taiwan, this is mighty tempting.
Okay, first of all, let me ask you, NTU and Beijing, that's about right? NTU is our number one. Beijing is their number one in a way. And then Tsinghua and Tsinghua. But I found something wrong with Zhengda and Fudan. What's wrong? Why Zhengda has to be compared not with a university in Beijing, but Shanghai? 门不当户不对吗? That's what you said. So what's the one that should match with NCCU, do you think? Which one? Which one should be the one that match with Zhengda?
According to their ranking or specialized fields.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably Shanghai Jiaotong.
No. Actually, there is one, which is a sister school of my university. 人民大学. How about this? 政治, we don't call National Political University. They don't call National People's University. They call 人民, we call 政治. And what else? Both are previously party school. Both really know how to party, but originally, Zhenji University is called 中央党校 from KMT. Okay, 人民大学 is from the Communist Party. So both have this political background. Okay, so 政治 versus 人民. Instead of political versus people. So now, and I told you before, right? When I went to Renmin University for a visit and staying at, what do we call that building? 专家楼. Okay? That's how they call it. 专家楼. Right? And then I access the website. I could only access nccu.edu.tw. I cannot access anything like .gov.tw. Okay, government, which I cannot do it at Renmin University. I cannot access any newspapers in Taiwan until in the evening when they screen out the United Daily News. Maybe I can read it. So these are the two. Okay. So Beijing and NTU, and then Tsinghua and Tsinghua. Oh, by the way, you're going to celebrate the centennial next year, right? My wife asked me, like, are you still going to Tsinghua next year? I said, you know, I probably want to go because they are going to have a centennial, right? Then after centennial, I probably should stop. Or maybe 101. Who knows? 101 looks nice as well. 99 is good, right? Especially in Taiwan, everybody loves 99. Why? Long and long. Okay, I never realized this is a good number until I went to Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong, suddenly people told me my street number is the best number. I said, it's not 168. You know, 168, you understand, right? All the way, prosperity. Prosperity all the way, 一路发. Okay, or, you know, something with 8. My street number in the United States is 2929. How good is that? In Hong Kong, in Cantonese, it's called easily enough. Easily enough. 易高,易高,容易够,容易够. Oh, so good. That number is so good. I never realized. You know, easily satisfied, easily content. That's me. But here, Tsinghua is going to be next year, 100. You're going to celebrate with the Communist Tsinghua University together. Is that what I read in the paper? Am I right? Yes. Oh, okay. So you're going to be here, most of you, right? Some of you graduated already, saying, "Oh, maybe Professor Yan, why don't you just flunk me so I can stay one more year?" Okay, let me know if you want to do that. Okay. I just read a newspaper. One student, right, purposely didn't turn in the final, hoping to stay in the university for one more year. The professor couldn't find the paper, but said, maybe I lost it, so gave the student an average, and he graduated. Okay, so let me know if you want to flunk the class, because your professor might be too benevolent to flunk you. So let me know. Okay. To Tsinghua University, and then 政治, and then Fudan. Okay, so we have to learn a little bit of the, why so many this? Why so many this? My gosh. What happened? Some higher education term, okay, that you need to know. Ooh. Why is the background Africa? Hey, what happened? Well, after the end of this semester, you will see the background will be my family. Okay, I'll put my family there next time. Okay, but this time we're still using Africa. Now, how can I do this one? It won't listen to me. Okay, so we just have this more entrance examination. That was the 01 we used, right? We used the 01. And now we also have a lot of we call standardized tests in examination. Now, what's the benefit of entrance examination and standardized tests? Ms. Yan?
Students save money applying for exams.
Well, that's true. That's very true. You save a lot of application fee, right? No, I think I...
spend a lot of money going to Bushiban.
Really? No, standardized tests. I'm not sure.
For entrance examination, they go like, drink
No,
some-
people. The purpose of not using entrance examination only is to prevent people to save time not to go to Bushiban. But in Taiwan, people just believe in Bushiban, right? Okay, so that's. But here, in terms of money, I think I would recommend Taiwan to do this. People ask me why you got your degree from Purdue University, which is a famous, some of your professors in engineering and science, and also in business, which is not famous for political science. But do you know why I went to that university? Because there is no application fee. Okay, I was a poor graduate student. And having, I think at the time when I applied, have one boy already and the second one on the way. Okay, so my wife gave me $100 US to apply for my PhD program. Okay, and I found those without the application fee. Okay, and found some really cheap one like $15, $10 at the time. So using $100, I think I applied 8 or 9. I don't remember. But Purdue didn't require application fee. One thing in America, sometimes they said, the application fee can be returned to you if you don't get admitted. I think this is what Taiwan should do. You go through the process, and those who were admitted, they should pay the application fee. Those who didn't get in, then you should not. So that will save you money, right, Ms. Yan?
Yeah. But not logical because the application fee is what they pay for the administration process to review your applications, paperwork. So you're admitted or not, they still do your paperwork.
But you know, you admit it, the university going to make a lot of money out of you, right? So they can compensate for those who are not coming here. Okay, but that's entrance examination, and I think it's considered to be fair. Okay, but there are problem with this is because there are people who have we call test anxiety. You know, like they cannot take test. They're not good in taking test. Maybe just like Ms. Ling just mentioned about students in Taiwan, not physically very strong nowadays. So July 1st, taking exam without air condition. I'm not sure. I'm not sure every student can do it. Okay. But I give you one example of my friend who got the Chinese composition 100%. And very difficult. 中国文的作文满分. Why? He took the ink and the brush. Okay, and you know, make the ink there and use the Chinese brush to write his composition. Now, how many of the old professors reading this, you know, maybe they will have tears. 现在还有人用毛笔写作文吗？我不晓得，我们那时候可以，我那时候可以。Okay. Anyway, it was so touched. Okay. So, but if you require that, you know, most of our kids in Taiwan in the grammar school, summertime, you know, calligraphy class, everybody is black, dark, you know, and you cannot read the articles, essays they wrote because it's all smoosh. So difficult. Some people have problem taking entrance examination. So that's the reason we have application now. We have, you know, this kind of recruiting from the best high school if you qualify for certain. So those are the terms. Application. Always use the word application. Application fee. Recruiting. Sometimes people will say, hey, this is the best recruiting class we have for years. Okay, recruiting, you're looking at we call prospective candidate or student. Okay, this is different. Remember, from this perspective, P-E-R, okay, S-P-E-C. Prospect, you understand prospect, right? How many of you watch baseball? Okay, if you watch baseball, someone will say, hey, certain prospect, what does that mean? Yeah, having potential. It's in the single A, double A, or triple A, a prospect. Okay. Sometimes you have we call trade of players. People will say, you know, trading a veteran for a prospect. Prospect is almost like gambling, right? You don't know whether it's good or not, but can be good. But a veteran is proven, but maybe too old now, you know, have only a few years left. So prospective students to be recruited. So this is some of the terms. Admission, you understand admission office. In Taiwan, what do we call admission office? 招生组. You know, this is a big office in the United States. They call Vice President for Admission. 负责招生的副校长. Here we put in a 教务处, 下面一个招生组, 招生委员会. Okay, very small, but admission is big. Okay, now, conditional admission. Do we do that in Taiwan? Conditional admission? No? Have you ever been? Yes. How conditional?
I don't know. Here in Taiwan, here in Taiwan, especially for the Indian, they always have like conditional admission. I don't know why.
But how do they get out of the conditional admission?
You need to satisfy the condition that they ask you. Let's say that you have to present your let's say your diploma from your previous school. If you didn't, if you get accepted, they will say like unless you give it to us, at that time you will get accepted.
Okay, so that's the condition. Do they ask you to saying, like if the first year you have failed certain classes, then
I have
no.
idea.
Okay, I used to have that, in the United States, because I changed my major from English to history. I haven't taken any history classes before, so they said, why don't you make up some history classes? Then after you finish those undergraduate classes, you can go on to the master degree programs. So how many classes did I make up? 8 classes, 8 courses, 24 hours, plus my 36 hours. Getting a master degree, 60 hours. Wow. So I learned a lot of history. Okay, I can tell you that. But that's conditional admission. Okay, sometimes they do that. Sometimes they also do certain things. For example, in Taiwan right now, we have high school students right now already being admitted, right? Or being recruited to the college. Still, how many months left? 2 months left. 还是2个月嘛，学期还没结束。已经有学生进了大学没有 ？Already， 正式的有了。Okay. So what happened? Some students say, "Now, I'm an NTHU student. I'm going to have fun for the rest of the 2 months," and didn't even take the final for the high school. Okay. In America, they found out this. They would take back your admission. Found out because they gave the admission even earlier, by the end of last year, like December. So some students said, well, I got admitted. So the final semester, why don't I just work at Starbucks? Getting some money, having party, make sure I get fit enough to go to the prom. That's the most important thing in my life, right? So they do that. So you have conditional admission now. Quota. Okay, quota is sometimes university want it. Okay, university, strangely, this is the place where you truly want diversity. Okay, university is a higher place, learning place of higher learning, and it emphasizes diversity. Because if you don't, then you are recruiting based on the test. You have people from the same background, and you don't know the outside world. Okay, I think I mentioned this to you when I was at Zhengzhi University as an administrator. I wanted my university to have quota or limited number of students from Zhongshan Yuzhong. Anyone from Zhongshan here? Okay, or Jingmei. I think Zhengzhi Daxue had too many of those 2 schools. Okay, and they have been classmates from elementary school all the way to college. So you don't meet other people, you don't see friends. Like we have Taipei students. I remember when I was in college, didn't realize watermelon doesn't grow on a tree. Okay, only when you visit your friends from the south, you understand something outside. Okay, so they want diversity everywhere. The same thing. Different student backgrounds, different professions, family from different ethnic groups, different, culture. That's very important. And I think my kids got into university in the United States because of their strange background. Okay, my 2 boys were born, one in Texas, one in Indiana, and then, both were born in Texas, and then growing up, little kid in Indiana, and then went to school in Alaska. Okay, Alaska is quite different, right? Alaska, you can see the moose and everything. So then returning to Taiwan for a few years of high school, and then go back. I think they are considered Alaska. The American university, they want to make a check. Like, we have recruited all 50 states, students from all 50 states. So my son say, hey, I'm from Alaska. Oh, we don't have anyone from Alaska. Thank you, right, for letting us make the list complete. Huh? So that's I think how they got it, right? So in Taiwan, I think what do we need is we should have Tsinghua University student from at least all the 20-some counties and cities of Taiwan. 连江县. So, hey, move our household to 连江县, right? So we can have that. Do you know 连江县? 马祖, we need to have some from 马祖 or 金门,澎湖. Why don't we move there? So diversity is important, and also affirmative action program, which Tsinghua is getting kind of your star program, 繁星计划, a little bit like that. What is affirmative action? It's like you don't have enough of the minority groups represented. So what do? You say, I set aside a quota. I need certain percentage. So try to recruit them into your class. Okay? But this has backfired sometimes because some schools are fighting for the same students. Okay? Like good black student in America, like Obama before. But Obama is not very outstanding as a student. But still, people are willing to offer them scholarship to get them into the university. I'm sorry, the Asians are not very welcome in California anymore. Too many. Asians are in Stanford, Berkeley. So they said, too many of you. We don't need, other minorities all need affirmative action, but not Asians. Asian too many there. Okay, so affirmative action, but some people say you should have equality of opportunity. Okay, means you should base on credentials, on ability, instead of based on diversity, background. In Taiwan, what do? Then we should say, well, we need to have more people who came from maybe single parent background. That's not well represented. We might want to have students from mother of foreign bride. Okay, so we don't have enough of that. What else? We should have more people that their parents we call shellless snail. 无壳蜗牛. Okay, so those are represented. That's diversity. Otherwise, all the students in Tsinghua think everybody live in 豪宅. Right? So they were, like, how come you don't have air conditioning in your room? You don't have an individual television set in your room? You have to share with your parents? So that's what we call diversity. Okay, you have to go out to the different places. That you might have to go to the outdoor toilet, not the 套房. Okay, so that's diversity. Like my son lived at the University of Washington. His roommate is a miner's son, 矿工的儿子. Okay, and my other son's roommate, I think it's also diversity, use drugs. Okay, right? Every society have student taking drugs, 吸毒的. Okay, so that also help. No, I'm kidding, but I don't think university welcome drug. Drug it. Okay. There, in the United States, you have in-state tuition and out-of-state tuition. This is also being discussed in Taiwan about, having Chinese coming to Taiwan because our education system is subsidized, right, by our government. So why the non-taxpayer from China should pay the same tuition? People say, even they come to our public university, they should pay our private university tuition. Okay? So in-state, out-of-state. America is even worse. If you're not Texan, you say, hey, I'm from Texoma. Oh, that's Oklahoma. There is a city called Texoma. Okay, that's between Texas and Oklahoma. But if you're from Oklahoma, then you have to pay out-of-state tuition. Okay? So when I went to Texas, I paid not out-of-state tuition, I didn't pay in-state tuition. I pay tuition for developing country. Oh, thank God Taiwan was not very well developed at the time. Okay, so I pay less than American citizen from another state. Okay, I paid $263 one semester, 15 hours. Okay, taking 15 credit hours, 15个学分. I only paid $263 for one semester. Then I got scholarship. I pay in-state. As in Texas, it was cheap. It's like $140, so not a lot. Okay. Public university. And then I got scholarship most of the time. So I never pay more than $200 per semester. Okay, which is your pocket money, right, nowadays. But when my son went to a public university in the United States, paying out-of-state tuition, one semester exceed the 9 years I paid altogether. Okay, so kind of like going back to hit me. So there's another reverse is private and public. Public university in Europe, in Asia are better. In the United States, private university are better. Okay, at least more prestigious. Okay, so that's the other difference. Okay, this is what we have for mainland Chinese students. We have 3 restrictions and 6 notes, which we're going to talk about later, trying to, regulate this educational exchange. So let's go back to the article. Where is mine? Miss Xu, do you want to do it first? Yeah. Second paragraph. Okay, just a second. 袁贵人 Oh, you're my 贵人 袁贵 长沙 The long saying.
Students from Taiwan will be able to apply to mainland universities using their Taiwan test scores. Some people think this will not impact universities from Taiwan. Others think that this may lead to a lack of students studying on the mainland over the next few years.
So first of all, Ms. Shi, have you heard about this? Using test score in Taiwan? 我们的基测学测 Yeah, you can use that to apply. Okay, the US one, right? In fact, okay, Ms. Shi, if you want to apply for Ms. Shi, if you want to apply for university in the United States, right? What do you have to do? What do you have to have? First of all, of course, you have to have some money. But what else? What do they require? Okay, so students, so your transcript, right? Okay, now, your transcript, don't you think that's something they also believe? It's not a test on your, for example, if you're a physics major, they didn't test you on physics, but they took your transcript. From there, they evaluate. Okay, so also, of course, TOEFL, the English, and then GRE. But GRE didn't test a lot on physics. There is also GRE, I think, advanced, which is having the physics. But most of the program don't ask for that. Still, so they trust your transcript. It's almost like the China trusting our testing score. Okay, I can tell you one thing. When I was in the U.S., our university admission office understood that students from Tsinghua University, even though the average is 68, they know it's better than 85 or 86 from Chinese Cultural University. Okay, they know, they share information. They know Tsinghua is a better university. So even student average 68 is better, or 69 is better than Chinese Cultural University average 96. So that's why saying if they trust your evaluation system, they based on that. So the same thing on this test score. I think China trusts our test score. Okay, I don't think China trusts our individual high school scores, or because the parents can put a lot of pressure on the teacher, right, to give their kids high, good grade. In Taiwan, we used to be able to do that. Why? Fine, I'll let you pass, but you're not going to make it to the university. Doesn't matter. But nowadays, the high school grades so important. So everybody want to have grades. Everybody want to be number one in class. Everybody want to be the class leader. So in Taiwan, what do? Parents say, okay, let's arrange. So everybody take turn, one for 1 month. So everyone later can say, hey, I'm class leader for August. Oh, no, there's no August. Only 1 day, right? September or something, right? So they trust our test score. Okay. We can apply to Mainland University using Taiwan test scores. This is big. Again, I'll give you my other experience. I graduated from Taiwan's university. I felt I could not afford the American university, so I tried one university that without tuition, Australia. Okay? This was 30-some years ago. I applied for Australian university, but they said, oh, but you're not part of the British Commonwealth. Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, they are part of the British Commonwealth. So they can go directly to their university. I have to be, we call, matriculated. 还要再承受一次. Okay, so I have to go to their university program. Okay, I'm sorry, university. I cannot apply for graduate school. I have to go back to start from the university. Okay, Singapore student, Hong Kong student can do it. I cannot. So they don't trust our transcript. They don't trust our education system. So China trusts our system, right? So next question for you, Ms. Xu. Do you think this will impact something will not impact, but others think there are going to be a lot of students going to Mainland China? Do you think that's the case? Which one is the case? Not impact universities on Taiwan, or may lead to a wave of students going to China in the next few years? You think that's the way? Because they cannot get into Jiaoda in Taiwan. So they say, hey, I'm Jiaoda, Shanghai. I'm Jiaoda, Xi'an. Right? There are how many Jiaoda in China? 4, right? Okay. Like earlier, one cannot get into Tsinghua in Hsinchu. One can get into Tsinghua in Beijing. So you think there will be more people going to China? You don't have faith in Taiwan? Now, maybe the parents. What do you think? It's the parent or the kids? Which one? Want to go to China? Maybe parents, huh? We don't know. Okay, but this is something, it's happening, so we're going, hey, remember, you have a lot to write about. This is a good issue for you to write. Okay, Ke Shaojun. Yeah, next one.
Let's talk about some people's doubts and fears. If this policy takes effect and spreads, every year as many as 10,000 students from Taiwan will choose to cross the Blackwater Beach.
黑水沟
Taiwan Strait for 4 or more years of academy.
No, academic.
Academic
Uh-huh.
studies in mainland cities. This means that a significant proportion of young people from Taiwan would be transferred to the Chinese mainland. Since these students are the academic elites, how should we interpret such a population movement?
Okay, so there are doubts there and there are fears. Doubts is say, oh, so what? Most people feel that if you go to China, then the cuisine will be a problem. Our stomach really cannot survive in Sichuan, right? Or Hunan. So mala.
There are still people like.
No, but the problem, the reality is, you have so many Taiwanese businessmen. You can have wamisua in Chengdu, right? So who cares? So that's not a big problem. So, but that's doubts. So they said 10,000. Right now it's about 2,000. Okay, but if the test score is taken, maybe 10,000. Now, first of all, Mr. Ke, do you know how many students we have right now every year? Like taking our entrance examination? 15万嘛，有这么多？18万。Okay, so let's say if 10,000 didn't go, then Taiwan's admission rate is not just 100% or 105, it should be 120. So local people will be very happy, right? Like, oh, I thought I had competition to get into Taiwan's university here, but those people went to China, so yeah, open up the door for me. That's good for some students. Okay, but so 10,000 choose to cross the Blackwater Ditch. Why using this? You understand the Chinese word 黑水沟? Why? Why using Blackwater Ditch here? No, because of history. What is the history? This is where the Mainlander first came to Taiwan. They said they have to cross this Blackwater Ditch to come to Taiwan, which is not that safe. But they overcame the problems.
We call it Blackwater because the water just look darker.
Really? Because of our pollution? No?
There's a swarm of sea waters,
Okay. But I think the reason, I understand but the reason we use the same thing is because centuries ago, right, the Mainlander came to Taiwan, crossed using the same term, 黑水沟. So it's ironic right now people are crossing back, okay? Yeah, but just, the historical connection here. Okay, Blackwater Ditch is the one, the ancestor of Taiwan came across the Blackwater Ditch. And now you have the young people went over there, okay? So here, maybe a lot of people will be transferred. I don't like the word transfer, but that's the word, transfer. Okay, transfer is big time. Transfer student. Do we have that a lot here in Tsinghua? Is a big thing in Tsinghua? Transfer, like 转系的. Inside?
Yes.
Like some student just wanted to make it to Tsinghua, even though it's not the best department, best discipline they want. My university, a lot of people got into Zhengzhi University, major Turkish language. Okay, but you are in Zhengda, right? So next year, they got into like a international trade, accounting, or something. But the funny thing is, all this department, they said, you can be a transfer student, but you have to do very well in your major. They said, the reason I want to transfer is I have no interest in my major. Isn't it ironic? They said, you have to be a good student in order to transfer out. But I have to prepare the transfer exam. So how can I be a good student on both ends? Okay, but so transfer a lot, and then transfer student from different university taking the exam. How many of you from originally not from Tsinghua? 有没有? No. Your university discriminate against transfer student. 你们学校都不开放啊? One. Okay, so 你是从哪里转来? Okay, great. 就是因为有一个华字就进来了。Okay, 考转学生。Okay, that's even more difficult. How many students try?
我们这一组200多个人考，然后大概
3个。
然后4间学校总共录取20几个。
Okay, so very difficult. Okay, so transfer student. But my question here for Tsinghua is, how come you will have this vacancy open? Some of you transfer out to China, or drop out, or okay, fail. Okay. You know, used to be in Taiwan, the professors are so kind because if they flunk a student, and then if it's 1/2 of the credit hours, they have to go to the military service, especially for male student. They have no high school. You destroy his entire life. Okay, nowadays, we're so good in flunking student. You know, we said, wow, we flunk student from Tsinghua and from Zhengzhi University and all the private universities. Thank you, Professor Yan. Thank you for giving us so many transfer students. You know, all those private universities, they're looking for students, right? So all this public university student flunk out, they are welcome in the private university. Okay? Sometimes the funny thing was the parents are very concerned. The kids are not concerned at all. You know, well, I have received phone call from the parents that, you know, but the kids are fine. You know, fine with me. You know, I don't have to stay. So we help the private universities survive in Taiwan by flunking out public university students. Okay? So here, would they, you know, how do we interpret this population movement? So, Mr. Ke, let me ask you, why would students go to China?
There are many considerations.
Okay, give me one. Give me one.
Well, see the aspect of ranking in the university, they got a better ranking in the world.
But if you want a ranking, why don't we organize something in Taiwan to rank the Asian university and put NTHU number 1? And then NCTU number 2? 可以吗？台湾也弄一个 ranking， 我们把我们
It's worldwide.
Worldwide, okay. So ranking.
They are competitionability.
But I'm not sure. Do you think that's good? No. But I'm asking you. Do you think that's good? Coming, you know, from the number 1 university in Asia, and you have to carry so much burden with you. You know, people will say, "Look, Mr. Ke is from the number 1 university in Asia. He must be very good. I have to live up to the expectation."
There must be people like that.
Okay, so those are people who do not care about their health. Okay, that's fine. I graduated from mediocre university, but I have no pressure on me, so that's good. Okay, but anyway, so that's a good reason. All right, ranking. Okay, 林信南，庄伟祥。Yeah. What's the other reason? Give me another reason. Going to China. Yeah.
Perhaps their parents have business there.
Okay, so their parents have business. So but why do they have to go to China as well? Just parents said, you know, I cannot afford to have you stay in Taiwan paying extra rent, right? So why don't you live here in China, and we have chauffeur, we have maid to help you? Is that the parent cannot afford? No? What's the reason? The parent have business there, okay. But why would they want their kids to be educated in a stifled environment? Not very free, right? No, think of this. The reason Taiwan's businessmen are so successful in China because they came from free societies, right? So why would you want your kids to be freely educated?
Perhaps they just want to have more family time.
Oh, okay, wow. I never realized our parents, Taiwanese parents, want quality times with their kids. Really? I think maybe it's the mother said, daughter, you might as well come to China because if you are in China, your father will feel embarrassed to have a mistress of your age. 是不是这样？女儿去了，这个台商的爸爸总不好意思跟女儿年纪的一起的二姨，不是什么二奶混啊。Okay, so that might be a reason. Okay, 吴炳佑。Okay, what's the other reason?
Diversity, because we have already lived in Taiwan for 10 years. We should go and see something.
So you want to hear something like 是吧？是，成。
We have different culture.
Okay, different culture. Okay, so diversity. Okay, I never realized diversity is so important in Taiwan. Okay, 蔡坤达. Yeah, what else? Oh, wait a second.
It's similar like.
Okay, so.
Because if you apply for maybe a U.S. graduate school, and you say you're from Beijing University, maybe but maybe you are maybe like in Taiwan you are in
台北 University 差不多，台北台北大学。
Maybe NTU, but you are the best of the best in Taiwan. You've worked so hard through all the tests, go cram school, study pretty hard every night. But Americans or Europeans, they don't know what NTU. They don't know how.
I think NTU is good enough. Don't you think we spend so much money on NTU? Maybe they haven't heard of NCCU. Or NZZU 政治 almost like sleeping ZZ. So they might not have heard of 政治, but I think they have National Taiwan. I think that's good enough. Right?
Maybe they'll take it lower than.
Okay.
Maybe,
Okay. Beijing may be ranking higher. So you think about further.
University or Shanghai or.
Yeah. So you're thinking about graduate school maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe in the job market in the future.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Wang Yikai. Yeah. What else? Different perspective. Why?
Maybe they have.
You say I've been so free. I'm scared of freedom. I don't want freedom anymore, right? I want to be structural.
They have a lot of resources.
Or other resources.
More than Taiwan.
Okay, more resources maybe. Okay. I remember going to my sister university, Renmin. Okay, in 2001, you look at the facilities. I said, wow, much behind Taiwan, right? Behind us. And then in 2008, when I went there, I said, ooh, it's a little bit embarrassed, right? Comparing the facility. I don't know about Tsinghua and Beijing's Tsinghua right now. Sometimes I walk through the campus. The lovely smell from the sewage. 下水道的那个阵阵飘香. I said maybe need some improvement. Okay, just campus. I'm not sure, but yeah, different resources. Okay, that's And besides, they also have a lot of famous professors from all corners of the world. Chen Yijun. What else? Can you give me? I haven't heard anything said. Well, I want to go to Chongqing University because you know, 川娃儿真辣啊 No. You're not looking for the Chinese girls, no?
No.
You're not interested. Okay. But what other reasons? People might go to China for university. Okay. That's so packaged word, 文化交流. Okay, the real word, I think everywhere. You go to China, go to university here, is for GX, right? What is GX? Connection, right? You go to China, you met someone we call the gangs of the princes. What's the princess gang? 太子党, right? You meet all the sons and daughters of the officials, and you want the connection. And if you're doing business in China, you might want to know those people who might work with you or against you in the future. Know your friends, know the connection. I think you are closer to the job market, which has the greatest potential maybe in the world in terms of growth. So those, I think, are the reasons. You might as well. And then, of course, I think we also have some people who really, truly love Taiwan, who want their kids to go to Chinese university to understand our enemies. Okay? So that in the future, they can help to protect Taiwan. Okay? So those are, I think, some of the reasons. If you can come up with other reasons, help me. Most of you are not, especially the boys, I don't think you are very honest with me. Because some of my former assistants who went to China and then just have very high difficulty to be faithful to their girlfriends in Taiwan. Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, next one. 廖航伟. Authoritarian.
It can control the admissions process in Mainland universities. It can even give
preferential
treatment to scholarships. Well, this increases the temptation for students from Taiwan to cross the strait for higher learning. After these students cross the strait, well, these young people from Taiwan eventually wind up as Beijing's political
bargaining chips. Okay, so China can control the admission process. So I don't think they will recruit, we call Zhang Dou or Jing Dou, Jing Rou from Taiwan, right? They want to recruit someone maybe some important background in Taiwan as well. Or they can do the other way, but they probably can give scholarship. Once they give you scholarship, I don't think you will reject. How many of you will reject saying, hey, you know, Beijing University or Tsinghua University in Beijing, give me, let's say, 2,000 or 5,000 renminbi a month, which is not a lot. 20,000, 2万块台币，2万多. Okay, the same quality program like here, do you think you will reject? Say, no, I love Taiwan so much, I cannot accept this. You know, I'm going to be on my own, right? So, preferential, they will only give it to Taiwan. You say, oh, this is propaganda. They're going to 统战 right? So what? You know, whether you're going to be, you know, won over, or we call 统战, 通常 we call co-optation, right? 笼络, maybe you will be co-opted, but who cares, right? So, and this will increase the temptation for students from Taiwan to cross the strait for higher learning. Your professor was offered a scholarship by University of Oklahoma. I didn't go. I went to Purdue University, which didn't offer me scholarship. You know, on my way to Purdue University to talk about scholarship, they didn't offer me anything. They just felt, okay, we're going to see you in a month. Okay, you know, happy you talked to me, but we really don't have any money to give you. So, but I love Purdue so much. On my way back to Texas, on my way through Oklahoma, I said, hey, Oklahoma, I'm not coming. They said, but we are giving you scholarship. I didn't, you know why? Because I read the wrong figures. I read the in-state tuition instead of out-of-state tuition. I thought, hey, maybe I can afford the in-state tuition, which I cannot. But on my way back to Taiwan, to Texas, Purdue called me and said, oh, you know, someone just couldn't make it. So we're going to offer you. Hopefully, you're not going to Oklahoma. So I got a scholarship anyway. But I refused the Oklahoma one earlier. But how many of you will, you know, reject the scholarship? You will? You will? Why?
Because, first of all, for that amount of money,
you're not going to sell yourself to that. Such a low bidder, right? No. Oh, this bid is too low.
No, it's not enough for a life in Beijing, frankly.
2万块不够。
不够。生
活费，住在学校宿舍里。Hey, you know, Beijing, come on, you go to eat in the cafeteria. It costs you about $10.
可是那边宿舍很难申请，因为我之前。
But what happens if they give you a dorm?
I still won't go.
Okay. Because if you live in the dorm, a meal costs you about Taiwanese dollar, $10 or $15 at the most, right? So it's not that bad. I remember I have 一个小笼包一笼啊，大概台币15块。Okay, so very cheap. Okay, not that bad. Okay, so you can be tempted, but then okay, the big question is. All the students, young people from Taiwan, would they become bargaining chip? Means what? Yeah, because you have so many there, and they became Beijing's leverage against Taiwan. Okay, so that's what we worry. The answer is very simple. I don't think we have any confidence in our young people. Okay, okay, let's take a break. 小乃心. Yeah, next. Just a second, I cannot hear. What? You right paragraph, this sort?
Yes.
Okay. Am I right? This sort? Just a second, let me make sure. Yeah. This sort of negative? Okay. Can you start again? I'm sorry. Everything. Uh-huh. Okay, continue. Okay, first question. Do you think this is being a negative attitude or just being cautious? Just being cautious. Okay, say, oh, we should not go, and then to be brainwashed, right? I think people worried at Taiwanese, we are so innocent, we can be brainwashed by all the Chinese communists. But here, okay, so that's, but at least in this article says it's a negative thinking, because you have an assumption, everything must be to our disadvantage. Okay, this we're talking about student going to China, right? Now, I have also complained that I want to teach students from China in Taiwan, so I can brainwash them, right? But why am I being deprived of such an opportunity to do that? But then, reverse is also true. Don't you think you can also brainwash your professors in Beijing? No, you don't think so? No. Why not? The professors in Beijing will say, wow, student from Taiwan, so independent, so creative. They're so impressed. No, you don't think you can do that? Well, because I can tell you one thing. Some professors do not want to be challenged. So, you know, for the purpose of good grades, you want to believe whatever he said. Okay, so here, conclusion always be that we must take every possible measure to confront and obstruct. What is obstruct? Have you watched all the American legal film, legal dramas? You know, on the court, they always say, obstruction of justice. What is obstruction? You know, during a court, right? In a trial, you know, someone doing something, you know, shouting, and then people will say obstruction of justice. Like when I was a legal translator in the United States, translating a case, and then I just laughed. And then the judge said I was trying to, you know, influence the jury. You know, it was just funny. You know, can I just laugh? They said, no, you are trying to influence the jury. Obstruction of justice. 破坏司法啊，阻碍司法. Okay, obstruction. So that's the word people talk about. Someone being obstructionist. That's not a good word. Almost talking about opposition for the sake of opposition. 反对，专门纯粹为反对是 obstructionist. Okay. Then here, positive view. Final result will not necessarily manifest itself 1 or 2 generations. Okay. We hope the two sides will fully understand each other during this 1 or 2 generation. That's your generation. And then understanding possible when people have free access to each other's social environment, educational environment, and lifestyle, so that we will not have a lot of misunderstanding. Right? I'll give you one of these culture things. Okay. In Taiwan, we begin to have a society that is more, I think, cautious, okay, about strangers. So when my wife and I went to the United States, living in a small apartment, and then university apartment, then someone came to fix the apartment. You know, university has certain maintenance work to do. And they looked this young couple saying, wow, you know, my wife, I think at the time was pregnant. No, was she pregnant? Yeah, I think she was pregnant. Anyway, so they said, well, you know, next Thursday is our Thanksgiving. Why don't you join us? They gave us their address. You know, they welcome, you know, students from far away to join their Thanksgiving. My wife said, this must be trying to get us away from our apartment so he can steal. So let me put all my jewelry, So she carried all her jewelry with her so that nothing left in the apartment. Right? And we went there, and they are hosting, they're having their family gathering and introduce us. And my wife was so embarrassed. She didn't say about her thinking, but this is a cultural thing. They would like to invite people to do this, but if you don't have that kind of exchange, and they said, why will you do it? And then found out some of them came to the Vietnam War, and they have certain understanding of Asia, and some of their relatives also during World War II were in part of the U.S. Army. So that's why. So you need to have some of this, social environment and educational environment and lifestyle to understand, what other people are thinking, why people think certain ways. Okay, if, for example, in China, students work very hard, you say, why? Why don't you enjoy your life? Because coming out of the very remote, very poor area, that's the only ticket to success. So they have to work hard. So this is how we understand each other. And then only a generation grow in this environment will be able to, what's internalize? Ms. Xiao, what is internalize? Internalize, it's in Chinese word right now it's called 内化. What does that mean? It's almost like get used to, but also believe in yourself. For example, I think our former first family believed they didn't steal any money. Okay, they believed that money was donation, that money was for Taiwan's independence. Okay, you said, no, they cannot believe, but they already internalized that. Okay, so they already believe in that. Okay, so that's what we call internalize. And then also to resolve the problem, the two sides faces. Next one, Ling Ruofan. Relegated chorus. Shouting. Prosperity. Mm-hmm. Bilateral. Mm.喂，我在上课。Okay, now my question here, do you think the last sentence is correct? If university students do not have the confidence or, in cross-strait exchange, then it will be more difficult than the other groups in our society? Do you think that's correct? I mean, university students should, if they have no confidence in exchange with China, then other groups like workers, business people will have even less confidence, or or other public groups. This is the one I have trouble because I don't know whether that's true or not. For example, when I was in Renmin University or Beijing University, in the campus, about 5 o'clock, 5:30, they break. China is crazy, right? They have only one time zone from Beijing, from Manchuria all the way to Xinjiang, the same time zone. In America, they divide it into 4 time zones. So, which means Beijing already like 5 o'clock daylight. Okay, Xinjiang like 9 o'clock. Okay, so very different. But it's Xinjiang 5 o'clock. It's dark. It's only going to be 9 o'clock when it becomes daylight. But Beijing 5 o'clock, already students in the campus reciting English. They are studying. They are reading. They're doing very hard. Working very hard. I said, wait a second, 5 o'clock. In Taiwan, our student just finished their video game and go to bed, right? So of course they have less confidence. Like, are you crazy? All the Chinese students in the camp. How many of you in Tsinghua, have you seen Tsinghua student, shouting to the tree like, reading like Obama's speech? Do you have those students here? I'm serious. I don't think we do that anymore, right? But in Beijing, they're just crazy. You have a student just reading, so early in the morning. So maybe you will have less confidence. I think the student will have less confidence, but not the people, not the business people. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure about this one. Okay, at least saying if Taiwan size lack confidence in between university students, then the general public will even more so. Which I'm not sure. Okay, especially some of our media people. I think our media people have more confidence than Chinese media. Don't you think? Okay, our media are the one that you have a president speaking. They continue to talk, over the cellular phone. They don't put it on mute. 我们记者最大牌。总统演讲照样手机响接听In China, I don't think they would do that. Right? Our media asking very, annoying questions. Okay? Other, in China would not do that. So I'm not sure this is the correct way of saying that. But here, it's also coming back here saying, mere, what is mere? M-I-R-E. You are trapped in a almost like swamp. Do you understand swamp? You're being trapped there. You're trying to go up. The more you struggle, the further you sunk. Okay, so you understand this mere. Zero sum. What is a zero sum? Like 4 plus minus 4. That's zero sum. Right? 4 plus minus 4. Wow, it's such a big invention. Zero. 4 plus minus 4 equals 0. So that's what we call zero sum. So the total is 0 means what? Almost like whatever you gain, it must come at the loss of the other side. At the expense of the other. Okay, that's what we call zero sum. So what is a non-zero sum? Non-zero sum, maybe they call win-win situation. Maybe 4 plus 3, okay? Let's say Ma Ying-jeou would say, hey, ACFA is win-win, right? Yeah, of course he would say that, but that's so non-zero sum. He would say, oh, maybe we gain a little bit more, right? China gets 3, we get 4. But we get 4, so that's a non-zero sum. Okay, so here, zero-sum game of hatred and confrontation. Government on both sides manipulate, use the cross-strait relation to their own political advantage. Right? It's become a very popular patriotic thing to do for both sides. I remember during the Taiwan Strait crisis in 1995 and 1996, Beijing, just like a month ago, they have this so-called 两会 meeting, okay, National People's Congress. So you have some PLA generals sitting there, and then we have some stupid Taiwanese reporters, interview them. What do you think of Li Denghui's visit to the United States? He said, 台湾该教训了，打。Wow, okay, so patriotic, right? So that's what we call, both sides are manipulating this patriotism or nationalism. But then the public on both sides, renegated means put on the back burner or back seat, right? To the role of an amen chorus. What is amen chorus? Yeah, what is amen? Have you ever been to a church? The pastor says something, everybody say amen, amen. Okay, but I can agree with it. Amen means I agree with you. Okay, say, hey, the Lord is good. Amen, fine. Yesterday, amen. I just mentioned yesterday, people just keep saying amen. You don't even know what I'm going to say. Huh? Just keep saying, it's like, oh, whatever Professor Yan opened his mouth, you just say amen. Okay, that's what we call amen chorus. What is a chorus? You have to sing songs, chorus. Or also, especially, you repeat it a lot, right? So, repeating amen. Okay, sometimes in a church, a pastor will have, like 暗装. Okay, like amen corner. 他们的阿门角落. Okay, whatever he said, they will say, hey, amen. Okay, there will be something. So it's almost like, people in Taiwan, whatever mind you say, hey, amen. Amen to Akbar. Okay, that's what we call amen chorus. Okay, so that's the public. Waving flags, like America as well, very nationalist. So they waving flag, Buy America. The flag of America is made in China. Right? So waving flag and shouting angry slogans. Right? Just 爱台湾. That's not angry. I don't think that's angry. Okay? Or 请中. Is that angry? 卖台. Okay, 卖台. Mai Tai, first time I heard Mai Tai, I thought it's a cocktail. Mai Tai, Mai Tai. Huh? Do you know this cocktail, Mai Tai? It's a good cocktail, okay? Anyway, here, if we believe the two sides of the Taiwan Strait have shared version of peace and mutual prosperity, increase bilateral exchange. So both sides, public can guide the cross-strait relations. Okay, so open exchange is good. Okay, is foregone conclusion. What does that mean? It's something you don't have to say no. You don't have to say doubt. You have no doubt, no reservation should be done. Okay, next one, 张子权。对不起，你看老花眼真是。Okay. Audacious. Alternatives. Okay, so here, gesture by Beijing can be described as audacious. This is the same word Obama used in his autobiography, in his book called The Audacity of Hope. So what is audacity, audacious? Yeah, bold, okay. Beijing did not ask Taiwan to open, saying, you don't have to do it to me, so which means no need for reciprocal, exchange, What is this reciprocal? How do we translate this? Reciprocal, in return, And in noun is called reciprocity. Everybody said, like reciprocity. It's almost like, what would be the reciprocity for Taiwan to do? Beijing said, you can use the standard test to apply for Chinese university. So what would be the reciprocal thing for Taiwan to do? So 联考 maybe. So if you happen to be a certain level, we will also recognize that you can be admitted in Taiwan as well, right? So we accept their test scores. So that's a reciprocal thing to do. But Beijing didn't ask that. And Taiwan need not take any additional exams. For example, they didn't ask us to take Political 101, Political Science 101. 没有要我们去修政治教育课。But you're going to be, and then given that opportunity, maybe there are going to be more people going there. So consider such an alternative. What do we mean by alternative? Which is an important word for Ma Ying-jeou and Tsai Ing-wen's debate on Sunday. What is alternative? Do you have an alternative? Plan B. It's like plan A, plan B, right? The second plan. So it's like, it's almost like you say, I'm going to my graduation dance party with Zhao Youting. People said, you really think he would go? Do you have an alternative plan? If he doesn't want to come with you, so that's alternative. So alternative for ACFA is like, if you don't want to have ACFA, from the DPP point of view, what is your alternative, right? So let us know. And moreover, Beijing opened the door. Once it is open, can Taiwan say, hey, we lost so many good students to you. Please shut down the door. You cannot admit Taiwan students. We cannot do that. So out of Taipei's hand, and then from our perspective, we must adopt a different kind of posture of also greater openness. Otherwise, a posture is almost like a state of what? Passivity. What is passivity? Passivity, pass. Not doing anything, not very active. You are passive, right? Yeah. Finally, we have Guo Junyi.
Gesture by Beijing will make it even more difficult for Taiwan to reject mainland academic credentials and to prohibit mainland students from studying in Taiwan.
I think it's on Taiwan. I don't know. Yeah.
Even under the current system, 2,000 students from Taiwan went to the mainland to study. Now that students from Taiwan can gain admission to mainland universities based solely on their Taiwan test scores and receive all sorts of differential treatment to whom their ranks will rapidly increase. result to recognize mainland academic credential will be both infeasible and pointless. If students from Taiwan study on the mainland, but students from the mainland are prohibited from studying in Taiwan, such a lopsided situation will only be disadvantageous to Taiwan.
Okay, so more difficult for Taiwan to reject this recognition of our standard test. Mainland academic credential and to prohibit, to reject mainland saying, oh, Beijing, I'm sorry, we don't recognize Beijing University diploma. And the rest of the world all did, right? Except in Taipei. And then we prohibit Beijing student or mainland student from studying in Taiwan. It would be difficult. You know, they accept us. Why can't we accept their students? And now we have about 2,000 every year. And then maybe we will have more, okay, once they look at our score. And especially preferential treatment. What do you mean by preferential treatment here? It's almost like in Taipei, I probably can get not to the best university. But if I can get to the best university from in China, if I consider it's moving up, that's preferential. Okay, that's preferential enough, right? So here, so to boost their ranks means increase the number of Taiwan students going to China. So mainland credential will be infeasible. What do you mean by feasible here? Infeasible. To reject, not to recognize.
Something that that can be done. This is not like infeasible. It's something that cannot
be carried out. Almost, usually people have plans, business plan. People will say, why don't you do a feasibility study? 可实用性, okay, 可行性. So whether it can be carried out or not. So infeasible, okay, and pointless, okay. Which means in Taiwan, everyone else recognize the degree, and you don't recognize it, that's not good. That's not, and pointless, that's no meaning at all. And here, also, if a student from Taiwan studying mainland China, but students from mainland are prohibited here, this is also to the disadvantage of Taiwan. Okay, I can also give you one example. Remember last class I said I didn't go to Australia? The reason why I didn't go to Australia, because Australian consulate in Hong Kong I was even willing to go to the university to make up 2 years in order to go to the graduate school. But Australia said, we don't know how good is your English. But we don't recognize TOEFL. That's American thing. Australian, we have other thing. So they said, you have to come to take an English test. So I went to Hong Kong to take an English test. And I went to the consulate. And they took me to the office in the back. And then they came out with a record, 45 LP. They put on, I listened, listening comprehension. Ooh, listen, write the answer. And then I write an essay. Okay, a few months later they said, oh, your English is okay, so you can apply. So I applied to university and got admission. And then once I got admission, which Australians are very crazy. The school started in January. I got admission in February. Okay, already late. I mean, maybe and then I said, oh, I need to go there. So I went to Hong Kong to get my visa. And the Australian consulate looked at me saying, you didn't make an appointment. I said, okay. So how could I make an appointment? Oh, maybe in April. Okay. So I didn't go, okay? I went to the United States. And when I came back to Taiwan, I talked to the Australian diplomats about this. They said, oh, we were so stupid. That's the reason why we cannot be very competitive here in Taiwan, in the government, in business community. Why Taiwan is so pro-America? Maybe it's because America provides opportunity of education for a lot of Taiwanese. And Europeans, Great Britain, finally said, oh, no wonder we have contract, bidding contract, we cannot compete. We have very few, British graduates before. Now they started about 1990. Australia Canada, New Zealand, everybody is competing for the talent. Okay, so if you want to influence that country, you better educate that country's elite. So if you want to educate, influence Chinese thinking elite, you better educate them. Okay, so that's why I believe we should do that. Okay, otherwise it will be to our disadvantages. Okay, Ong Yingzi. Germinate. Okay, so germinate also means growth, coming out of this, spring up on university campus. Basically, all this, this is from a Taiwan's editorial, right? Translated into English. So what can I call this? I call this all this BS. You understand BS? Bachelor of Science. Right?
Brainstorming.
Okay, brainstorming. Okay, what else is BS, Miss Ong? I don't want to. Something with a sheet of paper. Huh? Okay. So there is no need to explain this part. But I really think there is nothing to be afraid. And so what? If they want to have preferential treatment to Taiwan, fine. Ms. Ong, why can't we accept this? Why can't we accept some preferential treatment from China? You think our people will be won over because of that, like Ms. Yin said, that little money? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if people are not so familiar with the environment there.
Okay. But I think the reasons why we can do this is because we have a group of people in Taiwan who believe in Taiwan independence. So China, is totally lost right now. China said, we're doing great economically, we're becoming world-class power. How come Taiwan is not interested in unification? So they have to do more and more. And Taiwan just say, I'm not sure I want to be unified. What else do you want? Okay, they just keep giving us a lot of things. And then people say, no, don't take anything, because if you take something, then you will have to marry this guy, right? But if you marry him, he will not give you anything. So before marriage, just pretend I'm still interested. You'll get a lot, right? And once you prosper, you get prosper, you enrich yourself, you're strong enough, maybe you can slip away. Who knows? But right now you're so weak, you're not physically strong enough to get away. So might as well get some of the nutrition from China. Who cares? Right? Okay, so we'll stop here and then look at the other two articles, and you have that 6 notes, and think about that one. Do you think that's also reasonable to have those 3 restrictions and 6 notes here? Okay, the restriction, for example, we don't want anyone to go to China to study Chinese medicine. Why? Because 北大中医 台中中医 maybe I think that 台中中医 got less patients, huh? Because people say, 中国医学 must be from 中国. So that's why people say certain programs cannot do that. Okay, see you next week.